In this video, we will see the data that we will be storing in our web application. So, we can store them as parameters or as attributes. Now, what are servlet parameters? So, parameters may come into our application from the request which has been sent from the client, or they might also be configured through the deployment descriptor file, which is the web.xml file. So on submitting the form, we have already seen that all the form elements that are present in that form, if they are carrying any value, then they are wrapped in a request and sent to the server. And we had also accessed these values using the request.getParameters method, wherein we had accessed the username and the password which was submitted by a user from the HTML, and we are reading that value and then we are performing some action in the servlet. So that is one type of parameters which are also called as request parameters. Next, we have servlet parameters and context parameters. So these are set through the deployment descriptor file. So we can code it in the web.xml file and then we can read these parameters from the web.xml. All these parameters are read only, so which means that from our application code the programmer can only read these values or view these values or use these values somewhere, but the programmer cannot write some code which can modify these values. So these are the following types of servlet parameters: request parameter, servlet initialization parameter, and context initialization parameter. So request parameters are sent from the form which has been submitted, and they can be accessed using the request.getParameter method, wherein we pass the name of that parameter as an argument, which is a string. Next, the servlet initialization parameter. These are set using the web.xml file, and to access them, we use the config object, and using the config object, we call the getInit parameter method. Same for the context initialization parameter. They are set in the web.xml and they are accessed using the context object, and the method is getInit parameter, wherein we pass the parameter name. Now the request parameters, to get the request parameters, we have already seen the get parameter method. So it returns the value for the given parameter. So it will match the name of the form element and the name that we are passing here, and it will retrieve the value for that parameter. We also have methods like get parameter values. So in case we have multiple values for the same parameter name, then they will be returned as an array of strings, and it will be null if there are no values existing. Next, if we do not know the parameter names, then in such case we can first execute this method, which is get parameter names, which will return an enumeration of string objects, and all the names of the parameters will be enumerated in this the response of this method, and then we can one by one get the value using the get parameter method by passing each string object as an argument to it. So we'll see a demo for this. Here we have created a registration form. So in the title we mentioned this is a registration form, and in the body we have created a form with method post and action which will take us to param demo servlet. So here we are just giving the user some text boxes and radio buttons to select the gender, and then a password text box to enter the password, and then another password text box to re-enter the password, and then we have a submit button. On running this code, the output will look something like this. So this is the name text box, then we have the mobile number, and we can select gender, so either male or female or other, and we can enter the password and then click on register. So this will take us to the param demo servlet. In the param demo servlet, we will use the request methods. So we have already seen how the request.get parameter method works. So now we will see how the request.get parameter names works. So it returns an enumeration of string. Let's call it params. Now to traverse through an iteration, there is a method has more elements. So we will use a while loop wherein we check whether the params has more elements. Then we will store the next element in a string s. And now once we have the parameter name, so s is the parameter name that is available in the request object, and then we will need to get the values of s. So in case s has multiple values, then we can use the method that is request.get parameter values, and when we give input as s, so it will give us all values available of s, and this returns a string array. So let's call this array values. So values contains all values of the parameter s, and then we print it using a for each loop. So for each string val in the array values, we will print the parameter name and then the value. So we'll have to remove the system because we are printing to the out parameter, which is our print writer object. Now when we run this code, so here we can see all the parameter names with the corresponding value have been printed here. Similarly, if we create checkboxes here, select hobbies, so the input type for a checkbox is checkbox, and let's give it a name. So let's call this hobby, and in the value, let's say reading, singing, dancing. So these are the values that we will be able to see in front of the checkbox. Now when we run this code, so we have selected two hobbies here. So in the output, we can see that these parameters occur only once, but the hobby parameter occurs twice because there are two values for hobby. So this is possible because we are using the get parameter values method, which returns an array of string. If we would have used the get parameter method, then we get just one single value. Next, the servlet initialization parameter. So these are the initialization parameters are basically used to initialize some values. So basically, if we want to store some values which are related to our application and they might be useful for initializing our application, then we can store them as the init parameter in the web.xml file. So there are two types of init parameters. One is servlet init parameter and another is context init parameter. So the context parameters are basically they have a broader scope, so they apply to the complete context or the complete web application. And the servlet parameters, so these are available to the servlet in which we create this parameter. So it is specific to a servlet. Whereas when we create a context parameter, it will be accessible across all servlets which are present in that application. So the syntax is to use this init parameter tag in the web.xml. So the parameter name, wherein we pass the name of our parameter, and the value will be passed in the param value tag. To get the parameter names, we can use this method get init parameter names, which will give us all the names, all the parameter names which are available to that servlet. And to get the value of that parameter, we will pass the parameter name as a argument to the get init parameter method, and we will get the value in return. Similarly, for the context parameters, so for the context parameter, the tag is context param, wherein we pass the parameter name and parameter value. And to get the parameter names, we can use the context object and then call the get init parameter names. And we can use the get init parameter and pass the parameter name to get the value. So it will return a string if there is a value, and if there is no value, then it will return null. It will not throw some exception. It will just return null. This is the web.xml file, the deployment descriptor, and this file has a parent tag which is web app, and all servlets are contained within this web app tag. So here we can see that we have servlet tag for each of the servlets. So since we have four servlets here and we had added this information to the deployment descriptor. So that is why here we can see that for the new servlet, for the sample servlet, for each of the servlets that we had created and we had added the information to the deployment descriptor, there will be a tag, servlet tag created for it, which contains the mapping of the servlet name and the servlet class. And we also have a servlet mapping wherein the servlet name is mapped to the URL pattern. So this will also be present for every servlet that we have. Currently we are working with the servlet param demo. So here we can see that it is mapped to /param demo URL pattern, and we also have the servlet tag here which has the servlet name and the class of the servlet, unit2 which is the package name, and param demo which is the class name. Now, when we want to create initialization parameter for the servlet, we will be creating it inside the servlet tag. So here we will write init param, and inside init parameter we will have param name and we will have param value. So in the param name, let's say we have some value, some parameter which is specific to our servlet. Let's say it is the max value and the value is 5. So we can read this value 5 from the servlet initialization parameters, and the name of that name of this parameter which we will use to get the value will be max. In the same way, we can create multiple parameters here. So for example, min is equal to 0. Now, like as we have created the initialization parameter for our servlet, so these will be inside the servlet tag. Similarly, we can also create the context parameters, but the context parameters will be outside the servlet tag. So we can create it here. So the parent tag of the init context parameter, the name is context param. So the parent tag for this will be web app tag. And now let's say we have some parameters of our application which are specific, which are not specific to all servlets. They are in general they are common to all servlets. So we will be creating them in the web application itself. So for that we can use the context parameter. So like here we have used param name, let's say database URL, and then here we can give the URL of our database, so that will be a string. Similarly, we can create a context parameter which is, let's say, database user, say HR, and we can also create the password. So we have created 3 context parameters in the web application, and these parameters will be accessible from all the servlets which belong to this same application. So these 3 variables and the values will be available in all these servlets. Now to access these values, the context parameters, and to access these init parameters from the servlet, we will go to the param demo class. Now here, because these are initialization parameters, so we can read them in the init method. So we had seen in the servlet lifecycle that we have an init method that we can override. So we can use this init method, and so this init method will be called automatically when the servlet is being loaded for the first time. Now here what we will do is we will write some code to get the initialization parameters. So like we had seen that we use the get init parameter names, so we can use that method get init parameter names. So if we do not know the name of our parameters, then first we can execute this method. So this will give us an enumeration of string. We will use a while loop. So while the init parameter names enumeration has more elements, we will get the next element using this next element method, and then we will create another string which is the value, and then we'll call the get init parameter method wherein we'll pass the next element that we have fetched. And then let's say we want to set this value in some class variable, so we'll create a string servlet param here, and initialize it to blank, and then we will simply say servlet param and append the values to it. So we'll append next element, and we will append the value. So what we are doing here is we are reading all the initialization parameter names from the web.xml. Then for all the names that we have fetched, we are getting the value of that element, and then we are just appending all the parameter names and the values to a variable which we call served param here. And now we can access this served param from anywhere in our class, even from the do get do post method. Uh, Similarly, when we want to access the context parameters, so we'll be using the same logic. The only difference will be that instead of calling the get init parameter names on the current object, we will be calling it on the context object. So to fetch the context, we will use servlet context. So this is the servlet context that we will get using the get servlet context method. And now to call the method get init parameters, we will use this context object. Similarly, to call the get init parameter, we will use the context object. And let's call this names1. We will also create a string context param to store this values and the name. Next, we will print the values here in our HTML response. So these are context parameters and these are servlet parameters, and in the out.println we will simply print context param and servlet param and click on register. So we can see the context parameters. So these are the context parameters that we had stored: the DB password, the DB user, the DB URL, and there are two more values that we can see here. So these are the parameters, context parameters that have been added by the server. The servlet parameters min and max. So these min and max parameters, these are available only in our servlet param demo. These will not be available for the complete context. And these are the request parameters that we have already seen. If we try running the same code from a different servlet, so we will just paste the code for the servlet param and the context param. So we have pasting the init method here, and for seeing the output in the response, we will copy these same lines. Now when we run this servlet, so here is the output that we can see when we run the display student servlet. In the context parameters, we will be able to see the same context parameters because these are available across the context. So everywhere any servlet can access these. But in the servlet parameters, we can see nothing because there are no servlet parameters that we have created for the display student list. The min and max variables or the parameters were just created for the param demo servlet and they are not available in the display student list.